I'm working with shadows, these beautiful shadows from a railroad bridge. And, well, you can reproduce them easily in watercolor and probably oil. Acrylic, you know, if you do a few things. But let's do them on the gel plate. Hi everyone, welcome to my Shoreline studio. I'm Sybille Muschik. Behind the camera is Joshua Blanc. Now we're working with these shadow things, and we're going to use a variety of media just to see if we could reproduce this sort of fuzzy look that the late afternoon shadows have. So I started off just with an acrylic and spraying it, and then I overprinted with white and silver to give it that shimmer. It was a very sparkly afternoon, lots of sunlight, and but it's a bit hard edge for me. We haven't quite got that fuzzy look yet. So in this case, I've started using some open acrylics. I started off by using the alcohol blending solution, Tim Holtz, just on the base so that we don't get any beading. And some of these lines are, from here you can see, they're quite intense, but you know, they have that fuzzy appearance. So on the gel plate, it's a bit of a challenge. I'll just shore this up a bit. And if we spray it I sprayed it with alcohol, just so it breaks up a bit. We're going to get some different effects, more than say, you know, like here with all the fuzz, where the gel plate has its sort of own vibe, and we're going to be getting some unusual effects. So we'll see how that prints. I have lots of paper. We're going to be using some watercolor paper as well. So we'll just see how this goes. We're printing it wet, and of course we can wet the back slightly. We'll just see how this goes. Maybe have a peek and see what the effect is. And it's printing really well. Okay. Now look at the neat things that are happening. So that, you know, the gel plate does its own thing, and you get, you know, some unusual mark making that you probably wouldn't get with painting or any other medium. But we haven't got quite the fuzziness yet. So we will continue. I'll show you a few pieces too that I've been messing around with. Now I've mentioned Createx in other videos, and we'll get Josh to put those YouTube videos up. Createx, my stuff is quite old. You can still get it. Probably go directly to the company, and then they might list what other places you can buy it from. They're reasonable, they're water-based, they make beautiful prints on plexiglass, which is what they were meant for, but they work really well on the gel plate as well. So here, Createx is, because it's water-based, it's more like a watercolor. So we're getting, you know, a fair amount of fuzziness. I'm just using black for this one. I did overprint it with silver and white. And we're, you know, close, but, you know, let's keep going. This is with our, it's a Caran d'Ache, and it's wax oil, and it works well on the gel plate if you print it first on paper and then works as a transfer. So, and that's what happened here. Now that's pretty close. This is Oriental paper, and you just want a little more intensity, right? So this one, I added more water, and so now you're getting the intensity. And look at, you know, we're getting a bit of that fuzziness, so we'll try one of those later. Well, this one is just about mark making, where I'm, you know, doing some nice brush strokes. This is just acrylic, no white, and just getting, you know, like the footsteps that we're trying to go for as well. But no, you know, even though the paper was wet, we're not getting those fuzzy edges. So acrylic is a real challenge for this exercise. So I was working with some open acrylic, and it takes a bit longer to dry, which is nice. Easy to apply with a brush. So we might just get the effect we want. Josh will put up the image on the monitor, and we're just gonna a fast and dirty drawing here. Which is good practice in any case, you know. Doesn't always have to be slavish. You can do some nice stuff either way. So let's just have a quick look. So some thick lines, some thin lines. And you don't have to follow, you know, the image slavishly. Just, you know, think about design and shape, and we're trying to get that fuzzy look that's more important than anything else. And then we sort of go this way, and then they go the opposite way. So those are, I presume, the girders of the bridge. And then these ones just go that way. So and then of course the other ones here again are going this way. And in the corners you have lots of fuzzy stuff. It's like not painting feet on animals. You know, put some fuzzy stuff in. You're not very good at it. Haven't you noticed that about certain people when they're painting? You know, they're you never see hoofs. You know, there's usually grass or something covering them up, which is true. You know, it's in the. Some people are really good at drawing horses and things, and their hooves are up in the air, so you know they can draw that kind of thing. But you know, it's like anything else. Look at the shape and put it upside down. If you know, if you name hoof, you know, instantly you're sort of flummoxed. Or shoes. Don't let these things scare you. Just think in terms of the color, the shape, the direction. Okay. Now we should get some intensity here. And don't forget our little footsteps in the snow. here and there. You can give them some direction. After all, they were coming from somewhere and going somewhere. All right, let's put that aside for now. What we're going to do in this case is I have some printmaking paper. I think it's Reeves. It's quite thick. We're going to wet it. So I'm just wetting my paper. This is Reeves BFK, good printmaking paper. And we're just wetting it down, and then you take a towel and just very gently get it to the point where there's nothing shiny anymore. If it doesn't feel cold and damp, then spray it a bit more. Otherwise it won't pick up anything off the plate. Okay, that's nice and cool. We've got some moisture on there. Now, because printmaking paper, the fibers absorb quite a bit of the moisture and lock it in, and hopefully it will pick up. And we hopefully get a little bit of fuzziness, so not bad. Well, we forgot that center line, but that's okay. But you see what's happened here. So this is with our open acrylics, so not too bad. It could be a little fuzzier, but as shadows, I think it reads quite nicely. Might just try for that center. And by putting that glazing medium on, we're not getting beading, which is really nice. Let's see if we can get that in there. Just lining up with the edge of my plate. We're not too worried about registration here. Okay, nice and transparent. Shadows, snow shadows are transparent, and our footsteps are kind of fun. That works. Obviously, if you're doing a gel plate print as a composition, then you would want to put some part of the bridge in as a hard edge. But, you know, that's not the purpose of our video today, is just to see if we can get this fuzziness on a gel plate print. Now, next up are Copic pens. Now, they are alcohol-based. We're going to use our alcohol blending solution on here and braying it on. What that does, it helps to diffuse the alcohol in the little Copic pens. And you can, there's two sides, two brushes. Okay, so let's do this. And if you wanted to diffuse it a bit more, you can do this kind of thing. So it resembles more of a watercolor. Okay, and we have those little thingies. They're like a little tatting loop. I have a friend who does tatting. She's just amazing. I am the proud recipient of several of her pieces. And she wanted me to use them as gel plate, you know, stencils. And oh no, they're way too beautiful. and the colors she uses are magnificent, so no. Okay, so let's try it with the brush. I'm just going to add a little bit more of that stuff. So here's hoping we get a little closer. Okay, so this line, I'll really be familiar with this railroad bridge by the time I'm finished. And then it just sort of goes back and forth like that, and then the lines crossing. And he's going. More lines here. And then not forgetting this one here in the center. I guess you would call it a trestle, Josh, eh? It just kind of... There's no road with it. Sometimes railroad bridges have, you know, it's part of the highway, but this one is just a trestle. Not sure what trestle means. We'll have to look it up. Okay, so try and get this diffuse quite a bit more. So by working with a variety of media like this, you learn a lot. And, you know, this is an exercise. I'm not trying to create a wonderful work of art or anything like that. So that's why, you know, the drawing isn't that great. I don't really care about that part of the thing. We just want to get this kind of nice fuzzy edge. And we're using an image so that you get the idea. Now I have an alcohol spray as well. And we're going to get some really interesting effects, even if we don't get fuzz. Huh. Anyway, you could play with the lines all you want. It's not the problem. Okay. Okay, now we're just going to try and get fuzz just by adding alcohol to the plate. And you can see whoa, look at that. Now the way to pick this up is to let it dry and add white. Josh will put an interlude on. And it's dried now. We can use a white pickup layer. I'm going to add some silver to it to give it that glow. And we'll just mix it together on here. Brayer it out. So in this case, our fuzz that we're trying to achieve is from our diffusing agent. And I think this is actually a really nice abstract. We can just use regular copy paper for this one, and it should pick up. And it does. And it's quite brilliant. All right. So have we achieved that fuzzy look? Well, yes and no. This is the way with printmaking and with the gel plate to begin with. But look at how, I mean, you get the feeling of shadow, right? And a little bit of the fuzz, but it has its own, you know, really unique personality, I guess. And we missed out on the footsteps, whatever. But, you know, this is a keeper, and you could do more with it. You know, you can paint in between here and do stuff. But, you know, sometimes things are well enough left alone. They are beautiful in their own right, which this is. Again, we're going to use some glazing medium. Just so we... sometimes, you know, having... it break up. So we're going to add some water to it as well. And the beading, it doesn't really look like fuzz, so that's why, you know, don't really want beading. So we're going to add a fair amount of water. This is Prussian blue, which would make a gorgeous color for shadows. So the next time you come to a railroad bridge, and you'll remember this video. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring your little bell and share some of our adventures. So much fun. A little bit of water. Now, Prussian blue is a gorgeous color, and this one is this way again. And crosses, and then there's a few lines crossing from the further up. Once you understand, you know, how something works, and you can mess with it, which is what artists are good at. Let's see it in a different way. See how you can apply it in a different way. I'm part of a bunch of sites that show artwork, and they're just amazing stuff that people do. And a lot of it has to do with seeing things differently and, you you know, trying different things and making media do things they aren't intended to. Like ceramic can look like wool, and you know, there's all sorts of people do tree bombing where they put you know, crochet work as limbs and leaves and so forth, and they do all that kind of thing. So nice marks, and don't forget your little footsteps. Just adds that little touch. Now this should be a little bit more diffuse. I don't know about our edges. Because it's acrylic, we'll be lucky if we can. So what we're going to do is a couple of things with this. We will wet our printmaking paper, but we'll release it with a white coat. We'll try and make the variables work for us. Let's let it dry, we'll do the white coat, and then we'll pick it up. And with the paint, you know, the paper wet, we might, if we're really lucky, we might get our fuzzy edges. Okay, another session with Josh and some little interlude. Okay, this layer is dried now, and we can apply our white and a little bit of silver. Here's our damp watercolor or printmaking paper. Now our pickup layer should work for getting the paint off, but I'm hoping that the wetness of the printmaking paper will give us that fuzz that we so desire. We won't give up. And we've discovered all sorts of other things, useful things as a result. Now then, are we getting anything here? No, it's going to take time. Okay. And this may need a layer of matte medium as well. So we'll throw some medium on there. We're always in a hurry, and that's the trouble, but this kind of thing you need to leave for everything to sort of cook together. And matte medium comes to the rescue once again. Okay, we have to leave this, so we'll go to an interlude, and we'll see the result in a few minutes. Now this had several layers of medium. So does this look shadowy? Maybe. It's interesting because some of it pulled away, you know, that gives it a different character. Possibly because we worked with that alcohol blending solution, that it made it stick a bit more. So that's something to experiment with. The color is lovely. This is just white and silver, so there's a bit of a, I don't know if you can see any shimmer there, but see here, you know, that's a very diffuse kind of edge, what we're looking for. So I think we're on the right track. You know, this is printmaking paper, and this was the golden open cerulean blue chromium. Okay. So it's a lovely color and very shadow-like, so okay. But look at, we left quite a bit on the surface yet, so could do a ghost print. So I'll show everything at the end as usual, but just to go over some of the things here. This was the Copic pens, you know, with some alcohol spray, white for releasing. And this is just copy paper. What was this one? This is acrylic with alcohol. That one, yeah, not too bad. The edges could be a little bit more diffuse, but it does sort of read shadow-ish. This one is on printmaking paper again. And open acrylic, okay. So, and then white release. And I love the transparency. This is very watercolorish. So open acrylics might be a good possibility. But you do, you can wet your paper, but you do need a white release coat. So, so there you have it. Always fun to experiment and do this. You know, you don't learn things unless you try stuff. And not everything works, and you've learned something as a result. We have lots of fun here trying this kind of thing. And as a result, you know, that it starts you thinking, and, you know, some of the possibilities, like this piece here, the abstract possibilities are really fascinating. So it doesn't have to be, you know, a shadow by any means. It could be just about anything. And, you know, composition and design, you know, it sort of works. And it starts to give you ideas. This is one way to, you know, if you're worried that you can't think of anything, well, try an experiment of some kind, you know, see where it takes you. You know, the road to adventure is one step at a time. Okay, well, thanks for joining us today. As always, take care of yourselves and your families, and be kind to one another. Bye for now.